Chapter 1 Comprehension. Hello students, let's try to do these unseen passage. Passage 1. Read the passages carefully and answer the questions given below. An old gentleman was walking slowly along a street. One day, he saw a little boy who was trying to reach a doorbell which was too high for him. He was a kind-hearted old man, so he stopped and said, "I will ring the bell for you." And then he pulled the bell so hard that it could be heard all over the house. The little boy looked up at him and said, "Now we will run away. Come on." And before the old gentleman knew what was happening, the naughty boy had run round the corner of the street, leaving the man to explain to the angry owner of the house why he had rung the bell. Answer the following questions. Who was walking slowly along a street? What did the old man see? Write one word for the following. A child who behaves badly is. Find the word from the passage which is opposite to cruel. Passage 2. Read the passages carefully and answer the questions given below. Many years ago, there was a miser named Lakhimal in Banswara. He had a lot of money, but he never spent any of it. He never ate good food, and he never bought new clothes. He had only one pair of shoes. On wet grounds, he always took them off and put them into his pockets. He was very rich, but he was not happy. He wanted more money. One day a man came to him and said, "There is a rich man named Karodimal in Nagaur. He spends less and saves more than you every day. Go to him and be his pupil." Lakhimal thanked the man, and the next day he went to Nagaur. What did Karodimal do every day? What did Lakhimal do with his shoes on the wet grounds? Write the one word for the following. Having a lot of money or property. Find the word from the passage which is opposite to always. Tomorrow I will tell you some other examples of unseen passage. Composition Chapter 1. Passage 3. Read the passages carefully and answer the questions given below. Once when Pandit Nehru, our first Prime Minister, was speaking to some peasants in Uttar Pradesh, he stopped to ask them a question. He said, "You often say, 'Bharat Mata ki Jai.' Tell me, who is Bharat Mata?" "This land," the peasants replied and pointed to the ground. "That is right," said Nehru. "This land is Bharat Mata. The fields, the rivers and the mountains and all the land of India are Bharat Mata." Who was Pandit Nehru? What is Bharat Mata according to Pandit Nehru? Write one word for the following. Option. A person who owns a small piece of land on which he grows food and keeps animals is ordered to feed his family. Find the word from the passage which is opposite to wrong. Passage 4. Read the passages carefully and answer the questions given below. One day George Washington was riding along a road. On the way, he saw some soldiers trying to lift a heavy beam. The corporal was giving them orders. The beam was too heavy to move without help. They needed just one more man. The corporal, however, would not help them. He thought he was too big an officer to come down to the level of the soldiers. Washington watched for a minute and then asked the corporal why he did not help the soldiers. The corporal at once turned round and said, "Don't you know, sir, that I am an officer?" Washington replied, "I beg your pardon, Mr. Corporal. I did not know that you were such a great man." Then he dismounted, took off his coat, rolled up his sleeves, and pulled the beam with all his might. The beam came up at once. Such great was George Washington. Answer the following questions. Who was riding along a road one day? What did George Washington say on the way? Write one word for the following. A member of one of the lower ranks in the army. Find the word from the passage which is opposite to light.